Okay, I'd like to share with you a wonderful procedure sent to me by Frank Corsex. He's one of my subscribers, and it involves 4 clubs and 4 hearts, as you can see. Now these can be randomly stacked in any order. That would be just fine. And so what we're going to do is we're going to mix the cards because they're obviously not mixed. I'm dealing that into a triangle configuration, and then I'll just stack in opposite order. Okay, and in fact, let me show you how well mixed the cards are. So you can, well, how well they're getting mixed, right? Okay, so we have a heart, 2 clubs, a heart, and then a club, 2 hearts, and a club. Okay, so there's a kind of mix there, but we're going to mix them further with you deciding everything important. And within this routine, we're going to be showing you 6 powerful mixing procedures. Now, you don't have to do all of these. You could just do one of these if you'd like, and then have the spectator decide how many times you do it. Or you can do 3 or 4 or all of them. Okay, so the first one is very simple. You just do a left-right dealing into 2 piles like this. Random stacking decided by the spectator. Maybe they want left on right. So you can do one of those or several. The other one that you can choose from is dealing out into a square in this way with random stacking of the rows. So maybe a bottom row on top of the top. How would you like the pile stack? Left on right. You can do one of those or several. The other one is the classic Australian down under. Okay, so that's kind of a well-known way to scramble cards, and it does a good job. Okay, and then the fourth one is a variation on it that I don't think I've ever shown on my channel. This is where you go down and then under, then down, then under, down, under, down. And then we go under again, down, under, down. Last one goes on top. How would you like these stacked? Bottom row on top or bottom row on top? That's fine. What about the lefts and rights? Right on left. Okay. And then the final pair is a Klondike. First, this is just an ordinary Klondike. We're taking the top and bottom cards off as 1. And then this one with a kind of a square next to it. This is where we deal out the pairs into a square configuration with random stacking of the rows again. Maybe you want top row on the bottom. That's fine, your choice. Left on right. Okay, that's your choice as well. You can do one of those or several. So all of these can be done in any quantity and in any order that you like. So just do it to the satisfaction of the spectator. Once the spectator's feeling like the cards are well mixed, then go on to the final steps here. Okay, in fact, we're going to give you one final chance to make a whole bunch of choices that really do affect the ordering of the cards. So it's called the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So let me show you how that works. So you just begin dealing until the spectator says stop. So maybe I'll deal another one and maybe you say stop there, that's fine. I'll keep dealing until you say stop. Stop there, okay. Stop there. Okay, very good. So it's called the first shall be last and the last shall be first because the last pile dealt is picked up first. So you just stack in opposite order. That's all you do there. Okay, I think we're ready for Frank's amazing separation procedure here. Okay, so this is what he sent to me, and it's pretty easy to remember. So what you do is you deal down C-L-U, B goes on the left, drop the rest on top in the middle, and now we're going to spell heart, H-E-A-R-T, drop the rest on top. We'll go back to club, C-L-U-B, drop the rest on top, and then H-E-A-R-T, okay, and then C-L-U-B, and then H-E-A-R-T. Now, since we only have 2 cards left, we'll just do kind of a tuck under. So we'll go C-L-U-B, set the final card on the right. Okay, so how did Frank's separation procedure work? Did it achieve anything surprising? Well, let's just take a look. Okay, it looks like we've separated the clubs on the left as stated, and the heart's on the right. Oh boy, I don't know how in the world we were able to pull that off. Okay, so there's just one subtlety I need to point out, a little adjustment that I had to make. It's that final dealing into piles and then stacking in opposite order. You may or may not need to do that. I'll explain that. But what we're using here, in fact, let's just go ahead and we'll go ahead and stack these like that. And we'll go back to kind of the beginning. This dealing out into a triangle, it creates what's called a Bessey sequence of order 8. Okay, so this packet has a very special structure that is unharmed by all of these shuffles as well as hundreds of others. So I'll add a link to a playlist in the description that talks about these remarkable packet structures and gives you many applications that you can share and perform that are just mind-blowing. But the key is, once it's organized something like this, it's unharmed by so many shuffles. So these different mixing procedures, what they'll essentially do is you'll either get this kind of organization here with a red, 2 black, a red, black, 2 red, and a black, or you'll get the reverse. In fact, let's go ahead and just reverse it here. This is an easy way to reverse it as far as colors. We're going to focus on the colors. Now we have black, 2 red, a black, a red, 2 black, and a red. Okay, so those are the only color distributions you can get out of these shuffles as well as many others. Okay, so at the very end, I don't know if you noticed, before I perform Frank's separation procedure, I kind of tapped the packet on the table as if squaring it up. Actually, what I was doing is peeking at the bottom card. Okay, so if you peek at the bottom card, I see a heart. And if I see a heart, all I need to do is go right into this separation procedure. I don't have to do that dealing out into final piles and then stacking in opposite order. You can skip that step. But in this particular performance, because of the shuffles performed and how things were stacked, I happen to have seen a club down here. Okay, so if you see a club down here, do what I did in the performance where I said, I'll deal until you tell me to stop. And then I dealt a few more stop, I dealt a few more stop, and so forth. And then I stacked in opposite order. All of that movement is just a packet reversal. It just reverses the order of the cards in just the way that I just showed you here, how I just reversed the cards, right? So if you see a heart, you're all set. And so just move ahead. And maybe I'll explain that if you see a heart here, what it really means is there's a club on top. And we're wanting a club on top, okay? So we need a club on top. You'll know it's on top if this is a heart at the bottom, okay? And then if you see a club down here, you know there's a heart on top. So you're going to have to do that little reversal that I showed you. Okay, so play with this. This is a remarkable effect. I want to thank Frank for sharing this separation procedure. And I'd like to thank you for watching this video to the end and encourage you to take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.